Hi, my name is Jonathan Emanuel Salinas Avila, and this is my presentation of English 10 of Evidence 3, that is about study skills, about some abilities and tips that it will be good to improve in ourselves to be better students. First is speaking in groups. A good question to ask to ourselves is, do you find it easy speaking in groups? Because for some people it's easy, or for other people it's difficult, but for you it's easy speaking in groups? Well, I'm gonna share with you some tips about speaking in tutorials, small groups, or seminars that I'm pretty sure that are gonna help you when you are in this kind of situation. The first tip is agree with the last speaker. It's a good tip because you can say something such as "that's right," "yes," or "okay," or even just or you can say something like "I was thinking that myself," or "that's a very good point." You use these phrases to take the conversation further, to agree with the other person. It's useful because the conversation is you develop the conversation, so that's a good point. The second point is add information. You can say phrases like "yes, that reminds me," or "I have another example of this." This will be good because if you don't add information, the tutorial will stop. So what we need is that is to develop the conversation and share ideas, so you can share your own information and your opinion, and this will be good. The three is ask for information. If you don't have anything to add, you can ask for something that you find interesting. For example, what do you mean by, or can you tell me another example? Will be a good questions. The point number 4 is give your opinion. Your opinion is important to share with the others because it's what you think about the topic. So you can use phrases such as "I think," "it seems to me," or "in my opinion," or some people use these kind of phrases because they are not sure about what they are saying, so they say "I was wondering if," or "do you think that perhaps," or "just supposing that." That phrases will be good. The point number 6 is show interest. When you are showing interest in the other's ideas and the other's points, that will be good because you are sharing your ideas each other, so it's interesting. You can use phrases such as "really? Is that true?" So you are showing here that it's important for you what the others are saying. And the next point is the point 7, that is learn from others. So it's important, one of the most important points, because if you are in a small group or in a discussion, in a tutorial or seminar, you need to pay attention or about how do the others show that they are listening to each other. What words do they use to ask for information or to listen to the other people's ideas? So paying attention to this is going to help you to adapt to the style of the group, and you learn from the others' techniques also to pay attention to each other, so it's good for you to do this. The next area is listening to extended lectures. At least for me, it's difficult to listen to extended lectures in English because I think that if you are a non-native speaker, maybe you find also difficult this if you are a non-native speaker, at least for me, it's difficult to listen to extended lecture in English. So we need tips and abilities to improve our listening comprehension here. So we need to consider these tips to overcome problems when listening to extended lectures in English. So the first tip that I had is read the textbook. Maybe the professor say you read that chapter of the book, or maybe the professor doesn't say to you that, but it will be good to you to read the textbook before the lecture, so you have a context about the topic of the lecture, and it will be better to you to understand all the topic. The second point is record the lecture. This is a very good tip, because you can record all the lecture with your cell phone or any device, and then you can listening to it again wherever you are. So that will be good to review all the points of the lecture. The point 3 is take good notes. You need to learn to focus on the principal points and take that as notes. For example, key points like names, dates, and statistics. The next point is make lists and draw diagrams. I think that is easier and faster to make lists and draw diagrams than write all as you write normally. So in addition, you can add information after the lecture. The next point is use abbreviations every time as a keyword is mentioned, because sometimes you have words like or phrases like post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's a long name, so you can use abbreviations like PTSD or something like that, so that will be faster for you when writing. And the last point is write what you think you hear. Sometimes when in adult, always write what you think you hear, because some words maybe be confusing, but you need to write what you think you hear. And the most important is that you need to exchange techniques with your other classmates. The next thing is recording our achievements. How we can record our achievements, or why is important? Well, record your achievements can help you to learn about yourself from these experiences and use this knowledge in the future. That's why it's important. I have some tips that will help you to record achievements. The number one is you need to write about how you managed to achieve your objectives. You need to write the stage you went through, or the personal qualities that you used to achieve your goal. The number two is include the personal goals you have achieved. For example, being more confident in your own ability. That's it's about your personal characteristics. The tip number 3 is take notes on what you learned about yourself. Always in your achievements, you need to pay attention on what you learn about yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses. So you need to pay attention to that. The tip number 4 is you need to record the ways you kept yourself motivating during the process that you passed through. Paying attention to this, you will find the things that motivated you to achieve your goal, and you can use that motivation in other situations. And the next, the tip number 5 is you need to make a list of new skills and qualities you have gained with the process of that achievement, and also provide examples of them. And the tip number 6 is you need to prepare yourself to continue your progress. You need to state new goals, new objectives, new achievements to be gained. So they need to have personally and academic significance. You need to continue to update your progress and go ahead. The next area is organizing your personal study online. This is a very, very important thing in the life of a student, because if you organize well your personal study, actually you will have the opportunity to do all your work on time and well done. So I have these 6 tips to you that you need to consider in order to organize your personal study online. The number 1 is formulate an effective search strategy. Actually, when you go to Google and you want to make a research, you need to select the relevant keywords that you want to search. You need to organize how you want the keywords to be entered. This is a good point to get more relevant information about the topic. The number 2 is set out a study routine. You need to organize your week in order to allow you to have time to study, to socialize, to relax, and do other activities, go and hang with your friends or something like that. But you need to focus on organize your routine and put the study in an important place. Select the time that is best for you to study, if in the morning or in the evening or in the night. The number 3 is set realistic study goals. It's a good tip to use a calendar and set deadlines of the things that you need to do and keep them. And you could use an app in your smartphone or an online organizer to keep everything together on your computer or your cell phone, so you are going to be more organized. Number 4 is minimize distractions. You need to study in a place where you can be at silence and work in peace. You maybe can go to the library, that is a quiet place, and you need to avoid distract yourself with Facebook or with social networks or with your smartphone, with WhatsApp and all that kind of stuff that actually helps you to waste your time. So you need to avoid that. And the number 5 is foster motivation. You need to identify the things that motivate you to go further in your studies. It's important to say that the motivation must come from you. You need to encourage yourself to do the things. You need to think about the satisfaction of do your work, complete assignments. You can also find a study partner to help you to stay focused on what you need to do. The next thing is use your new knowledge. You can connect what you have already know with the new things that you are learning, or you can share your new knowledge with others to improve a better understanding, or also you can record a podcast to your group of study to share what you have learned. The next area is exam techniques. I am sure that if you are in an exam, you can feel nervous about it, and a good question is what are some of the ways that you prepare for an exam? And I have here 6 good tips for what to do during an exam that you need to consider in order to improve your result. It will be good. The number 1 is make a note of the time that you must move on the next question. This is a good point because so many people making their exams, they spend too long on one question. They find a question that is really difficult and they try to solve it, but they spend too much time in it, and the time passes and passes, and they waste their time in one difficult question, and they do not go further. So you need to avoid that, and you need to pass to the other question. Then the second point is read the questions slowly and highlight key points. You need to be sure that you really understand what each question says, because it's easy to miss parts of the question or something like that, but you need to pay attention, you need to avoid distractions and make sure you understand the question. The number 3 is check back of the paper to see if there are another questions. This could be something really logic, but many people forget to do this. Number 4 is structure your answers just as you will for your coursework. It's like another thing that is like another work of your coursework. So number 5, if you go blank, brainstorm words and ideas on a sheet of note paper. This could help you to stimulate your ideas. Actually, you can move to the other question rather than staying stuck on the same problem. As we have said, the information could probably come back to you later as you are answering your exam. And the number 6 is check through your work at the end. When you finish all your exam, it's a good point that you check all your answers before giving your exam to your teacher, because maybe you had an error there that you didn't realize, and that will be good to check it before take the exam and give it to your teacher. So it's a good point, all these tips. As a conclusion about my presentation, I want to give my opinion. From my point of view, it's really important to take in consideration all these tips that will help us to be better students, to have better results in our academic life, and to improve in us better abilities and skills that will help us in all our student development. We need to pay attention to this, and little by little making us habits to improve all our study time and study skills. And that's all. Thank you for your attention.